This particular regulation is number 2037, produced in the year 2000. And under Article 5, subclause 5, I'm going to read it out. It says that from the 1st of January, the use of virgin hydrochlorofluorocarbons shall be prohibited in the maintenance and servicing of refrigeration, air conditioning equipment existing at that date. And that all hydrochlorofluorocarbons shall be prohibited from the 1st of January 2015. So we've just passed that date. What this means is that anybody who's got air conditioning equipment still using R22, and this could be a small split or quite a large chiller, if they have a failure on that machine and it requires the gas circuit to be broken into, it cannot be repaired. So you're on borrowed time if you are operating R22 plants. You cannot use any form of R22 to put back into the system, not virgin R22 that may be stockpiled or bought from other parts of the world where production's not banned yet. It can't be reclaimed or recovered from your system. Even if it came out of the system, you are not permitted to put it back in. The options you can take are really, there are only two. You can replace the plant before it fails, you can replace the plant after it fails, or you can perhaps modify it to use a different gas. Well, the upside of modifying, of course, is probably quicker than having to procure a new plant and install it, because inevitably the new plant may not fit in the same space and there's maybe a lead time on delivery, etc. So it may be quicker, it will probably be cheaper, but on the downside, one of the things it doesn't do, it doesn't give you any added life to the plant. I mean, yes, you can carry on working it, but if it's 10 years old, quite often people consider that 15 years is probably the optimum life for a piece of refrigeration plant. It won't be any more efficient, whereas a new plant will be more efficient and it may suit the load better. One of the things that you should do is develop a strategy on dealing with the problem you have. And it's relatively simple. First step is find out what you've got. That could be very simple. Under the F-gas regulations, all air conditioning plant is supposed to be leak tested on a regular basis. So somewhere you should have a list of the plant that's been inspected and leak tested, and that will tell you on the report whether it's what the refrigerant is that's inside the machine. So find out what you've got, particularly determine what R22 plant that you have. Second important step in the strategy is to look at what business activity that plant is supporting. Now, how critical is it to the business? If there's no air conditioning for people, then they can probably cope with that for a little while. But if it's air conditioning taking heat out of a server room, the server room may not be usable without that air conditioning. Of course, you may be able to rent in temporary units. But it's important to understand that relationship. How critical is that business function that the air conditioning plant is serving? There are other things you probably need to understand as well. How much refrigerant's in it? How old is the plant? How long do you think it's going to last? How long does accepted wisdom think it's going to last? You need to understand the cooling load profiles, both in terms of maximum capacity and how it varies. That'll dictate what technology you might want to buy, and it would be useful to have some of the plant details like weight, because you've got to shift this stuff in and out of the building, or somebody's got it too, and they may want to know that. And particularly, what are you prepared to spend, and what your attitude is between replacement and modify. The third step is then to obviously evaluate your priorities and decide on the most appropriate action. Replace or repair. It's